More Mike Sanders equals more bad television. I'm Charles Rentham with a retro review of WCW Thunder from September 27, 2000. That's a bit unfair, I suppose, to Sanders and so many others that were called up from the power plant way too soon without any plan. Just, hey, you're young guys, go out there, you'll get over. And they had no direction for them. And also WCW was in the fucking toilet at this point. Had they planned ahead and started establishing stars 2 years previously, maybe even in 97, but especially by 98, if they started doing that, they might have had a good crop of people by that point instead of just a bunch of interchangeable people that had talent but had no direction. No wonder WCW died. Also, again, having more Mike Sanders was not the best idea. So we started with Disco and his duck. And he has a new tag partner. He's gotten rid of the Filthy Animals. He's fired them. That's not how that works, Disco, you fucking idiot. Then Conan shows up and they have a match. And then we get a bit of a match, and it's all weird and everything, and then suddenly somebody shows up in a leather jacket and pants and doing the weird dance and stuff like that and all that and whatever and this, and you know what? It's not the Alex Wright dance because that's some kind of weird goofiness that he's doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm even doing. I don't think Alex Wright knew what he was doing, but it's Alex Wright, bald, despite the fact that he shaved his head for the Berlin character, and the Berlin character had been well pushed away by that point. He suddenly shows back up, and now he's teaming up, doing the dance and the weird thing and stuff like that. And yeah, people are going to gift that shit, I suppose, if I'm even that popular. That was fucking ridiculous. But I might as well make fun of myself because, well, Thunder was mocking wrestling at this point. And just what the fuck was it? It was like a minute-long match. None of the matches were very long. One got stopped due to injury. Then Mike Sanders is looking for Miller and Russo, and that, which sounds like a weird lawyer firm. And then Doug Dillinger says, hey, Sanders, what are you doing in Russo's office? Sanders is like, oh, I got a letter. I'm in charge. So why was he looking for Miller and Russo if he knew he was in charge? I mean, it's not even above average intelligence being used there. And then we get a hardcore title tournament because Norman Smiley couldn't be bothered to show up with the title. To be fair, he didn't want to be champion, so now we have a 4-man tournament. And Scott Steiner shows up, tries to attack a security man with his pipe. No, that's not a euphemism. He literally swings a pipe at his head into another pipe and almost busted it. And then throws chairs and finds Disco's duck right there and suddenly starts hitting him hitting the duck with the pipe. Yes, get the duck. We love you, Scott Steiner. Yes, that was it right there. There's the, the infamous gif and everything, and Scott Steiner just bashing the fuck out of a plastic duck. Or goose. I don't know why it was funny. I really don't know. Scott Steiner at this point did not give a shit. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody that mattered, at least. It was just fucking rotten. But it was funny. It was fucking hilarious. And then we get Jared talking about Sting, and then Luger shows up and says he was upset about what he did helping Vince Russo, on the previous Nitro, and da-da-da-da-da. And it made him sick to his stomach, and he's going to make it right, or is he? Both talk about, how they have both been up Russo's ass. Well, especially Jarrett, because he's been up Russo's ass for a long time. A lot of ass talk. A lot of talk about Russo's ass. Way more than anybody should have to hear about. And then Hugh Morris shows up. And then Lance Storm shows up. It's a mess. We get a tag match later. No possible turn coming up here. The Thrillers then get Leia Meow in there. And this looked very uncomfortable. Looked like some movies I've seen online. And say, hey, oh, you're off the show. Or are you? She shows up later. Sanders is a bad commissioner. A bad man in charge. Mean Gene talks to the Filthy Animals. It's going to be Hoovy versus Ray in a best-of-5 series. I think Hoovy already won and is going to face Skipper, but they're going to do a best-of-5 series, because why the fuck not? They want to compete for the Cruiserweight title. We then get Sergeant AWOL versus Johnny the Bull, semi-final hardcore match. It's in that tournament, and it was weapons, a trash can to the head. AWOL was bleeding. Choke slammed through the table to Johnny the Bull, and I think AWOL really was hurt because it took him forever to cover Johnny the Bull, while Johnny the Bull was just like, all right, cover me. All right, God, what is he here? He's still not here. I gotta lay down. And he got beat. So there we go. And then Steiner out there, and he clotheslines Sergeant AWOL, gets face-to-face with Stevie, and lays his lengthy pipe all over Stevie Ray's back, and knocks him out, and they're going to have a match later. And then the Lava Lamp Lounge with Medeja, who should never talk ever. I'm not saying I'm good at talking, but I'm also just a fan doing a little YouTube channel. I'm not on a cable broadcast. Granted, this is 20 years ago. And then Leia Meow shows up, and they brawl, and Mike Awesome's like, wait, there's enough of me to go around, and they beat him up, and then they destroy the staging. I guess this is a running joke for Mike Awesome getting his set destroyed. Crowbar then finds out from Jimmy Hart that Daphne is in Australia with her new guy. And also, WCW is going to be in Australia at some point. So why did Daphne go there before? Why is this happening? Why is Crowbar so despondent? Granted, Daphne's a beautiful woman, but come on, Crowbar. There are other fish in the sea. It's like, come on, Crowbar. Don't do this to yourself. Stop doing insane things to yourself, please. And then Conan joins commentary. We get Team Canada and Duggan shouting a lot. And then Skipper and Duggan versus Jindrak and O'Haire. Tag title match. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but it was a heel versus heel team match, so nobody really cared. And then AWOL shows up, he chokeslams Skipper, then him and Duggan brawl a bit, and it's like, AWOL's got like the old like thing where he's like got a bandage around his face and stuff like that, and around his head. It's like he had bad dentistry, I believe, as Conan said. And then sent Shanton Bomb for 3. Sanders then says to Skipper, hey, we're going to face off for the Cruiserweight title on Monday. You need a tune-up match. Skipper's like, I just had a match. So Skipper goes back out there and gets demolished by Chronic. That's really it right there. And Major Guns prevents him from getting out of there. And then we get Ray with Tigress versus Juvi, best of 5 series, match 2. And Juvi got hurt pretty early on, doing a bad spill into the ropes, and hurt his knee. And the match was called off. And the crowd booed. I don't blame them. I think they were booing the fact the crowd, or the match got called off. Or that somebody got hurt. I mean, I don't think they were booing the fact that they weren't like, like all of a sudden, like, oh, you idiot, you should fucking continue. No, it was just weird. And then Crowbar versus Reno, semifinal hardcore match. First, Crowbar was all hurt and everything over Daphne being down under in Australia. Moving on. Table got broken, and there was a table splash, and Crowbar got all fired up, and then Johnny the Bull attacks Crowbar with a ladder, knocking it into his face. Roll the dice, 1, 2, 3. And then Mike Awesome comes down and saves Crowbar, and then gives him advice, says, hey, I'll help you get over Daphne. I'm the love doctor. He's had so many goddamn gimmicks by this point. Brutus Beefcake didn't have as many gimmicks as Mike Awesome did in a short period of time. That's not true. So we then get Mike Tenay with an interview with Russo. Russo says, I'm not an athlete. No, you're not. I'm not a sports entertainer, definitely. And it's like he's done competing in the ring. He should have never been allowed in wrestling. His parents should have practiced safe termination. So he says he will make a decision on the title this Monday, and then talks about Rick. Says he will drop a bombshell unless Rick stays out of his way. This is leading to Rick being buried in the desert soon for no goddamn reason. And then says Tenay apparently will wrestle on Nitro or something. It's weird. And then the Thrillers celebrate with Reno. I guess, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. They aren't gonna, be SOL according to Kevin Nash. Whatever. Scott Steiner and Stevie Ray. Well, Stevie Ray was selling the lengthy piping from Scott Steiner, and it was not good. He did hit a few moves. Medeja got in there, low blow, pipe to the head, Steiner recliner for 3. And then we literally get Lance and Jarrett versus Lex and Hugh Morris. The match was 4 minutes. It was non-sanctioned, and Lex ended up turning on Hugh Morris after apparently turning face earlier in the show, because face and heel turns mean nothing. Yep, this show was shit. Oh, and Lance won with the Canadian Maple Leaf with like seconds to go. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.